The space
Go away, Fash. Not interested in talking to you.
How am I fascist?
Get out of here, Fash.
What's up, guys? Nuance Bro checking in. We're in San Francisco, California at the Free Speech Rally. Let's go talk to people, see what's going on. So why are you out here today?
For the Freedom of Speech Rally. You know, I'm actually a veteran too, and I'm an ex-leftist, and they started pissing me off when I fought for everyone's freedom, even for these people.
And how do you feel like free speech is under attack?
I feel like, you know, I know these are private enterprises and stuff like that, but I think it's lingering into just society where you can't say, you know, I don't believe in the transgender agenda, all this stuff without fearing repercussion. And now I feel like it's kind of, people are actually not free to say what they want.
Sure.
Or at least feel that way.
So you're talking about social media clamping down on people, banning them for saying certain things, but do you feel like there should be a limit on what kind of speech should be allowed on those platforms, or what's your opinion on that?
No, I don't think there should be. What pisses me off is I know I'm a big guy, but I'm a huge nerd, and the internet is a terrible, horrible place, and I used to get triggered. I used to be triggered all the time. I used to play this video game, and I'd out myself as a gay guy. And they'd all say all these bad words immediately, all people on my team. And one day I was just like, you know what, I'm not gonna let it offend me. And now I'm the man you see before you now. And like, so I don't know, if you're offended by any of these things, people need to grow callous to that. You know, you're not gonna get tougher if you just get sheltered all your life.
But things like doxing, for example, or like threats, for if the people make that, you don't feel like those should be bannable offenses. What if someone wants to have a family-friendly platform that doesn't want porn on there? So where do you draw the line?
Oh, good point. Good point. On doxing, you know, I never thought of it like that. You know, I don't like doxing. I think that's stupid. But I also think, I mean, like, I don't know. Doxing, I feel like, you know, if someone were to post a bunch of videos of me out here, I feel like people would know me well enough that if they tried to dox me, that nothing. I've been doxed a few times.
What about like they put your name, address, workers, you know, where you work, your place of employment, that number. They start calling your boss, harassing you, and they post the address of your parents. You don't think that's something that people should be able to be removed for?
No. Oh yeah. You know, I think that's bad because I think that's actually like calling violent. It, like, in a way, it's actually trying to get people to go to your house, to go to your work. You know, there's even that one girl that attacked the guy in Palo Alto, and then they doxed her work and got her fired. And I think it's hilarious that she got what was coming to her, but at the same time, now you got these innocent guitar shop owners that are getting called and called and called, people out of state, people out of the country or whatever, and I don't think that's all right. So yeah, in a way, you know, I
think it'd be justified if people got removed for those kind of reasons.
Yes, I can't believe you got me to say that.
No, don't touch me. She doesn't. No, you want to try? You want to try? That my mic. She doesn't try me, sucker. Try me. Don't even give a bitch.
Don't call me a bitch.
You are a bitch.
You're not doing anything.
I'm not. You're not doing anything either.
You're a coward. All you guys are cowards. You guys cover your faces. Look, are any of our faces?
Because you bitches, you get bitches.
We're not
for
bitches.
gas.
Stand your ground.
Yeah,
We're not
you
bitches.
are.
You guys are cowards.
I'm not going anywhere.
Stand up for what you believe in.
I am right. Right in front of you.
Respect that. I respect that, but show your faces.
F off. Make me.
Why are you guys covering?
Make me cut.
Cuck.
But try it. Oh yeah, that's the truth. So what?
Okay.
You think that's an insult? That's pretty funny.
I don't know.
You tell people in San Francisco think it's an insult.
Cool.
What are you, stupid?
Why are you covering your face? You've already been demasked multiple times.
No, I haven't.
Yes, you have.
No, nobody's ever gotten it.
The sound.
Nuance. So why are we out here today?
I just came out to see who else was going to come out. You know, I'm San Francisco local and have been kind of apolitical most of my life and somewhat progressive, but the left is just kind of, I feel like they've pushed me out. Any kind of common sense is just sort of being lost.
And in what way did they push you out?
Well, so I follow like a lot of the IDW guys, like Sam Harris and Dave Rubin and all those kind of guys, and as soon as I started seeing those guys getting smeared as alt-right, it's just seemed totally ridiculous to me, because I've read most of their books, and it's clear to me that they have none of those views, and so then it starts to open up this floodgate of being able to see how people are getting lied about and smeared and misquoted, And so here I am just looking for the truth, and I just kind of came out to see, you know, what these guys on this side were going to say, what these guys on this side are going to say, and I don't know, we'll see how things go.
So, I mean, the rally is obviously about, you know, social media censorship and things like that.
Yep.
We have speakers. Apparently, they said people like Laura Loomer, Jacob Wool. I think either today or yesterday, Laura Loomer was recently removed from Instagram and Facebook.
I saw that.
What are your thoughts on that? What do you think about those people?
Well, see, I've only seen Laura Loomer speak a couple of times online. She's obviously got a pretty anti-radical Islam stance, which I agree with. I don't know a whole lot more about her, and I'm trying to think who else got banned. Milo got banned. I'm not a huge Milo fan, but I don't think he should. I think he should be able to say what he wants.
About Louis Farrakhan?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if maybe they threw that one out as like throwing a bone out so that you couldn't say that they were only going after the right or conservative speakers or whatever you want to call them. I think Farrakhan should be able to speak too. I totally disagree with a lot of what he says. Obviously, he doesn't seem to like a lot of people. He's kind of he seems anti-Semitic. Yeah, anti-Semitic, anti-white. I don't know. So I don't agree with him, but you know, I'm kind of an advocate for free speech. I think everyone should be able to speak their mind within the law.
Where do you feel like the line should be on something like a social media platform? Do they have the right, you feel, to set their own rules? Like if they wanted to create a family-friendly platform that doesn't allow porn or doxing, things that might not necessarily be illegal, but that you might want to discourage or could be potentially harmful?
It's a really tough thing. I would like to say that anything that falls within the law should be allowed on a platform. If I had a platform, I think I would allow anything that's within the law. But they're private companies. I don't know. I suppose it's debatable in a way because they're private companies, but they own the monopoly on information. I mean, Facebook is where most people get their news from. So I don't know. It's a tough question. I wish I had a definite answer, but I don't.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Oh, you need to go home. Hit me again. Call me again. Call me again. Call me again. Call me like one more time.
Recognize the truth.
What the hell's wrong with you?
There's nothing wrong being the way God created you. If God created you as a man, it's okay for you to be a man. If God created you as a person who's white, it's okay to be white. They trying to change reality. The reality of it is that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. Regardless of your feelings have nothing to do with it.
Hey, she says I'm hiding.
You're a piece of
Hiding.
It's okay to be white.
No, it ain't.
It's okay to be white. It is okay to be white.
Is that a white guy rapping?
You hate Eminem.
By the way, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell for future videos.
I'm just trying to get the message out that anybody can speak whatever they want. Those people over there can say whatever they want, but so can we. Unfortunately, we can't.
And in what ways can't we?
Well, let's see. How come they're wearing masks and we're not? Because when we try to speak, they come after us. Okay? And it doesn't take a whole lot of common sense to figure that if you're doing trouble, you're trying to cover yourself up. We're not. We're proud, and I just want my country back. This country's gone to hell. And if you guys are too young to know that, but since I grew up, it's bad.
And in what sense has it gone to hell?
Well, let's see, where do we start? Look at our streets of this city.
Sure.
I mean, look at these homeless tents everywhere in camps. You don't have to work for a living anymore. You get everything for free. You know? Why don't people pull themselves up by their bootstraps? You know, there's plenty of jobs out there. There shouldn't be any homeless with the economy. The economy's doing great.
I can't even get enough people to help work. So there's no excuse. But it's because if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach him to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime, AKA the Bible.
Sure. So, I mean, we've obviously seen a lot of good developments as well, like murder's gone down, crime's gone down, GDP's gone up, standard of living is higher.
But the society has gone down.
Sure. In what sense?
My God, you can't even turn your blinker on and try to get over to the next lane. The people won't let you in. Obviously, you haven't driven in other states where people are still normal and do that. That's just a small example. Okay, it's called common courtesy.
Sure. But don't you think there's a trade-off, like some good things happen while other bad things happen, where in the past there were a lot more bad things that now are, we do way better on, but there are also a lot of bad things.
I agree, but the worst thing is suppressing free speech. And I don't care, like you said, you can be Louis Farrakhan or you can be Donald Trump. But it doesn't matter. None of the speech should be suppressed.
Sure, where do you feel like we should draw that line as far as, do you think incitement to violence should be allowed because that's illegal? And then we also have, for example, what if someone wants to create a family-friendly platform that doesn't allow pornography? Do you feel like they should be able to do that?
That's fine if it's their own platform.
But Twitter's their own platform, right?
But
Facebook.
Twitter is banning look at, they banned Laura Loomer.
Sure, but it's their own platform like you were saying. So
no. I'm sorry, excuse me, no. There's a problem with that. When we have Silicon Valley controlling our internet, there's a big problem with that. And if you don't see that, I'd like to show that to you.
Sure, but I'm saying, do you think someone should be allowed to create a platform that bans porn, for example, and wants to make it a more family-friendly platform?
Sure, of course. Someone, I believe in private industry myself, and I believe that if Twitter wants to do that, ban whoever they want, you know what? Fine. However, if they're banning someone for their speech because it's conservative, and they're not banning someone for their speech because it's liberal, I have a problem with that.
Sure, but I don't think they would say they're banning someone for being conservative.
They're not going to say that.
Sure, but I mean, but they're also not banning a lot of conservative people. They're banning. Well, no, I'm saying they're banning specific types of people that they would say maybe they put out fake news or they engage in fraud, like someone like Jacob Wool who engages in fraudulent behavior.
No.
You should ban CNN first. They have been spreading fake news from 2 years about collusion. They keep doing all the time. So, because news is not the opinion of a journalist. That's not news. That's an opinion. So we have to distinguish between that.
Sure, I mean, people are allowed to obviously have opinions, but if someone's engaging in actual straight up intentional fraud, like fake sexual assault allegations, creating,
those are not good.
So that's why Jacob Wool, he was creating fake accounts and spreading fake news, and that's why they said he got kicked off. Do you think that's justified?
That's not fine. You cannot spread rumors. You cannot. Right?
So do you think his ban was justified?
I have to look at the history, but if what you are saying is right, it's not good. But then look at Louis Farrakhan and Omar. They have been spreading hate.
Well, he got banned. He got banned from Instagram, I believe, and Facebook recently.
Okay, and what do you say when you say, things that happened in 9/11 was just something? That's really disturbing.
Well, that's a little different. She was talking about the principle. She was saying this principle.
You cannot justify that kind of thing when.
Also, I mean, if someone's talking about a principle, for example, let's say when people talk about gun control, they say, look, someone did something at a school, like they did a mass shooting. Someone did something, and then therefore all law-abiding people, all law-abiding gun owners have to pay for it. I've heard that, that sentiment voiced many times, but she was making the same point about 9/11. She's not trying to trivialize 9/11. 9/11 wasn't really the focus of it. She was trying to speak about the principle of assigning collective responsibility to people who didn't do anything.
So first of all, you have to be very, very strong to condemn what is happening with ISIS and how they treat people. So you cannot be equivocal and give them benefit of doubt. That's what is happening now.
Does she support ISIS?
She has been asking for leniency
for people who might have joined and then
Yeah. So I mean, you could not good.
But is that supporting ISIS, or is it supporting maybe this sort of idea that people can become reformed, sort of the same way people believe in criminal justice reform? Like we shouldn't be.
You know how it works. When you believe in such a hateful ideology, when you have signed up to a hateful ideology that you want to kill someone who does not believe in your principles, that itself shows a deviant mind. So you cannot cannot condone these kind of people.
Sure, but do you think people can reform? Do you think people can change if maybe they once believed those sort of radical ideologies, but then they see the error of their ways and they can improve?
But then why do they go back to those same ideology when they get a chance?
Well, do they necessarily? Like someone like Majid Nawaz, for example, that I don't know if you're familiar with him. He used to be an Islamist radical, but now he actually preaches against that sort of stuff.
Right. So we want those kind of people, right? But I have nothing against Islam. I have a real problem against this radicalism that is being supported, passively.
But with respect to what Ilhan Omar's doing, we can agree it's bad policy maybe to like give leniency to people who joined a terrorist group like ISIS. But does that necessarily mean that she sympathizes with ISIS?
That's what it looks like. That's the impression it gives, because I am actually an independent. I'm not even a Republican. So, but if you look at it, the reason why America is great, because it has allowed everyone to survive and prosper, including me, right, an illegal immigrant. So if you take that incentive out for people to be working hard, it basically takes away the foundations of America. You don't bring in people who want to go for welfare and all of those stuff. You want to encourage them to work hard and achieve the American dream. That's what is not happening with Democrat Party, and that's very scary.
Thank you so much. So why are we out here today?
For free speech.
And what are we trying to achieve?
Basically, we're trying to let people know that you can shut us down, you can take away our platforms, but we're still going to come out and we're going to have our free speech. If we have to come out on the steps of City Hall, that's what we'll do.
Sure. So the platforms, you're talking about social media, Facebook, Twitter,
everything,
and all that?
Any platform. People's platforms are being taken away left and right. And it's not, yes, they're private companies, they have the right to do that, but we also have a right to free speech. So if we're not going to be able to go on our platforms and do that, then we'll find other methods.
Do you feel like any of the bannings have been justified by some of these platforms?
No.
What do you feel like is the line that someone should have to cross before they're removed?
Well, you know what? Here's my issue. And I noticed that they just started banning Farrakhan. Farrakhan, he was banned, right? So my issue originally was it seemed like it was mostly conservatives that were being banned from social media. I notice now they're starting to take it to the other side as well. It needs to be fair on both sides. Hate speech comes from all aspects, left and right. We have hate speech on both sides. So that's my main issue, is that it seems like they're allowing the left to spew hate speech, but the right, they don't allow any of us to say, and some of it isn't even hate speech, it's facts. Actual facts that are.
I feel like it's selectively enforced against one side, but do you feel like if it was more equally enforced, you'd be okay with it?
No, because it's our First Amendment right. Even if it's something that is ugly, I've always taken the stance that if it's ugly and I don't like it, I can walk away from it. I don't have to listen to it. I don't have to give them my attention.
But can you walk away, like for example, if someone doxes you, they put out your personal information.
I've been doxed.
Sure. I feel like that's something that should be allowed on those platforms?
On those platforms?
Like your address, your family's address and phone numbers and your place of employment.
But the fact of the matter is, though, is that you can Google stuff now. I could probably Google you and find out all your information. I was able to Google myself and find out stuff that I didn't even know was available online. So, do I think it's right? No. I think that the problem with it is that when they're doxing people, like with me, when they doxed me, they put in lies saying that I was a dangerous, violent person, saying that my kid is homeschooled and stuff like that.
Should they be allowed to do like slander like that?
No, not slander. Truth is one thing. Truth is one thing, and sometimes the truth is ugly, and sometimes people don't like the truth. But lies, they shouldn't be allowed to do that.
And also you're saying like you could Google a lot of this information and find out. For some information it's a lot harder, but let's say some very prominent figure with millions of followers decided to tweet out the information of, just some nobody, like some just average person, put out their information, and then all their followers, they kind of see that as an implicit, green light to go and just harass that person and get them removed from their job. Do you think that kind of behavior should be allowed?
I don't think it should be allowed at all, but it's happening and we're not able to stop it. Like I said, I've been doxxed.
But you would support enforcement actions against people who put out that kind of information?
People that are trying to incite violence on other people, like what they've done to me. That I think absolutely. But there's different levels of it. But I don't think, in my opinion, that's not free speech. Free speech is about opinions, ideas, ideology, stuff like that, facts. So I don't know. I guess the doxing could be a form of free speech, but I've never looked at it that way. So
one of the speakers that was supposed to be here, I don't think he's here, is Jacob Wold. Are you familiar with him?
I'm a little bit familiar with him. I'm not as familiar with him as some of the others.
So he was removed because he was engaging in fraud. He was spreading lies, like he was accusing Mueller of sexual assault, Buttigieg of sexual assault. He was literally paying people to lie about like sexual assault against those people. He created fake accounts. He was filing fake police reports. Do you feel like someone like that on the platform, when he's removed, that's a justified removal?
I think that if someone's lying, specifically lying, I don't know much about Jacob Wall, so I'm not going to speak specifically to him. But I know that there's lies that go up on the internet all the time. I don't think stuff like that, especially if it's meant to incite violence amongst another person. I've had friends of mine who've had their houses trashed. You know, I've had Antifa at my house, taking pictures of my house. That's not okay. It's not that's not okay. And they put my stuff on there with the intent to incite violence upon me. That's where I think that we need to draw a line in the sand. If there's true information about me, then fine. I don't have anything to hide. So, but when it's truth, but the falsities that they've said about me, like being a white supremacist and stuff like that, they photoshopped my picture with a bunch of white supremacists, and it's clearly photoshopped, right? And that's what they're doing. I don't agree with that, but there's nothing that I can do to stop it.
All right, guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Social media links are in the description box below, as well as merch. And I'll see you next time. Bro.